Okay, everybody, thanks for joining me today. We're going to build a beautiful clay slab box. It's going to have gorgeous texture. We're going to start with our slab that we've already pre-rolled. We're going to smooth it out using a metal rib tool. If you don't have a metal rib tool, a plastic tool works just fine. Or a wooden tool, but definitely not a glass tool. Pop those bubbles, got to get them out of there. If you feel bubbles underneath the slab, make sure you poke them with a needle tool, or in my case an X-Acto knife, but then you'll have to go back over that hole with your rib, fill it in, smooth it out, squeeze the air out. Now find some really cool textures. There's texture mats available, but you can also just find stuff that, you're throwing in your garbage. You can find like a million different textures in your backpack, your shoes, your jewelry, packaging, walls, floors, you name it. These are rubber mats that I purchased, but don't be lazy like me. Look around, find some cool textures that you can impress into your clay slabs. Give it some time to set up. I like to wait about 15 minutes or so, if possible in the sunshine or warm air. Then I'm going to use my template to carefully cut out every side that I'm going to need to build my box. I try to make the most of my slab and get as many sides as I can. If I can't get all the sides, I'll have to re-roll a new slab. Not the end of the world. My template looks really crooked in this video, but in actuality, it was quite square. It was the weird angle of the document camera. So make sure your template squares are super even. Oops, I didn't have enough clay. So I'm going to remove the excess. I'll re-wedge it. I'll roll it through the slab roller. But because of the magic of the movies, I won't put you through all of that. Alrighty, my slabs are rolled, they're a little firmed up. Now I get to use this handy dandy tool. It's called a bevel cutter. I love it. Cut a 45-degree angles on the back side of each edge. So how are we going to do that? We're going to take each leather hard slab and we're going to turn it face down. The texture we can no longer see. It is up against the board that our slabs are on. Don't do this until your clay's leather hard. Line up that square 45-degree angle. Make sure you're supporting it from the back side, and gradually glide it along the surface of the table. Look at that beauty. That is a sweet 45-degree angle, isn't it? You got this. Right along the edge there. Okay, so here comes the redundant part. You're going to have to do it for every single edge. But you know what? It's kind of fun. The important thing is to make sure that you're doing it on the back side of your textured slabs and not on the side that has that beautiful texture. Okay, now they've firmed up a tiny bit more. They're perfectly leather hard. They're kind of on the firm side of leather hard. They're not going to buckle, but they're in no way showing any stage of dryness. Their color is still a deep gray. I'm scoring each side liberally with a scoring rib. Now I'm going to use my slip bottle to glide and paint along the edges that I've just scored. The first wall you attach is always going to feel the most precarious. You'll have to line it up with your hands and support it from the back side. Give it a little wiggle and make certain that it's lining up evenly at the corners. Each added wall will also need to be scored and slipped on all four sides. The idea is once you have two walls, you could see how they join together at the corners at a 45-degree angle, the way a frame would. Once you have three sides joined, it makes sense at this point, when you still have some room to get your hand in there, to roll a little mini coil about the size of a piece of spaghetti, the same stage of dryness. Press it into the corner edge, squeeze it in, and blend it so completely that there's no longer a seam or an indication that you added that coil. You're going to have to do this for your horizontal joints as well as your vertical corner joints. This is a very important step. If you don't do it, it's very common for the walls of the boxes to split open. Your final side will also get scored and slipped and attached. When you're finished, you'll have a completely enclosed cube or rectangular cube. Once all sides have been joined, make sure you carefully check the edges and corners. If it's too soft at this stage to really firm up the corners, you'll need to let it firm up, but do your best to just square off each edge and each corner with your hand the best you can. Once it's leather hard, you'll be ready to create your lid. But before you cut your lid, double check your edges and corners now that it is a little more leather hard. Using either a clay knife or an X-Acto knife, in my case I'm using a clay knife, insert carefully all the way through the wall of your box and create a lid that's going to custom fit. I'm doing a curved lid. Yours doesn't have to be curved, but it should have some area where it locks into each other easily, so it fits one specific way. Once you've removed your lid, you can then carefully go to the inside of your box, smooth your edges, refine any sharp corners, clean up the inside of the box that you couldn't reach before without distorting the fit. The lid and the body should fit like a puzzle. Also make sure to check the inside of the lid, since you haven't been able to add support coils to those corners yet. Do so. Once you've done this, you will carefully put your top back on the box, but make sure to layer a thin piece of plastic between the two so that the lid does not stick to the box as it sets up and becomes firmer. Refine the fit, make sure it's a clean, tight puzzle fit, and then carefully cover your whole box with plastic, keeping it leather hard to add further decoration. In this rectangular box sample, you see that I've added some applique to the top. I've created a bird, which is hollow, and a nest with 2 eggs. What will you do to the sides of your box to further describe yourself? So I hope you found this video enjoyable, and will think of lots of fantastic and creative ways to design your own box. Have fun, guys!